Welcome back to Torah in 10, Parshas Tetzaveh. I'm Jody Burkell, and I know I always say I'm excited, but I am super excited. I just love the class today, so I hope you enjoy it. It was November 2011. Spiritually, I was on fire. I had just returned home from a momentum trip, an 8-day whirlwind trip to Israel. It was 8 days packed with inspiration. 8 days of bonding with the greatest women ever from around the world. 8 days of connecting to Judaism in ways that I never knew about before. 8 days of connecting to parts of myself I never knew existed. To say that I was on a high is an understatement. I didn't want it to end. But of course, I couldn't take my momentum sisters, my teachers, my friends, the food and experiences home with me. So that spiritual high ended and my soul returned to planet Earth. Fast forward about 10 years later, from the backseat of my car, my eldest son asked me, "Ma, when did you decide to become observant?" I was totally caught off guard and I answered him, "I never decided anything." To which he replied, "Then how did we get here?" I answered him, "I put one foot in front of the other every single day." I've given this a lot of thought since my son asked me this question. And the truth is, I didn't just put one foot in front of the other. There's so much more to the story, but it connects to what Rabbi Sacks shares with us this week. In Studies in Spirituality, Parshas Tetzaveh, we read something profound. Rabbi Sacks says that the people who change the world, whether in small or epic ways, are those who turn peak experiences into daily routines, who know that the details matter, and who have developed the discipline of hard work sustained over time. Rabbi Sacks teaches us Judaism's greatness is that it takes high ideals and lofty visions, images of God, faith in God, love of our neighbor, and turns them into patterns of behavior. One question people always ask observant Jews is, what's with all the rules? Rules in Judaism is known as halacha in Hebrew, which means Jewish law, and it involves a set of routines. Rabbi Sacks says, behaviors that reconfigure our brain, giving discipline to our lives and changing the way we think, feel, and act. He says sustainable greatness comes from hard work, and we all know this to be true. In ancient Hebrew, the word avodah is also the word we use for serving God, which is outlined in this parsha. Specifically, the rituals of holiness, which is the special role of the priest in Judaism. Serving God is avodah, which means hard work. What applies in arts, sciences, business, and industry, says Rabbi Sacks, applies equally to spiritual growth. Achieving any form of spiritual growth requires sustained effort and daily ritual. My friend Charlie Harary explains in his book, Unlocking Greatness, that in order to become who we want to be and live the way we want to live, we need to harness the power of rituals. Take a look at anyone who has achieved world-class success, people we admire in sports, in business, music, and read about the rituals they use to get things done. Chances are anyone we can think of follows a strict schedule of rituals. He says their days are structured and repeated. Those rituals led them to achieve incredible results. But this idea isn't just for some of us. We can all benefit from establishing rituals in our lives. There's a famous saying, genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. Charlie Harary shares the life-changing process of be, do, have. It's an action plan for personal growth that can be applied to every area of life. First is be. We have to decide, who do we want to be? It's our vision of ourselves. So think big. Do we want to be a more giving person, a kinder spouse, friend, or colleague, or someone who is in good shape? Beginning this way opens us up to the possibility of change. But our brain, which is so used to being another way, still hasn't been transformed. Here comes the power of do. Do is when we begin to take action, where we take our vision and put it into practice. We need repeated behaviors daily to begin to change our brain, which strengthens the habit we're trying to create. If we want to become a kinder person, we need to begin to use kind words and do kind actions daily. And finally, have. The repetition reinforces the behavior, which is literally changing our brain. We now have new habits, new behaviors that feel almost natural. We're becoming the person who we truly want to be. In 2011, my trip of Jewish spiritual inspiration could have been left on the tarmac upon my return. We all have these type of experiences, but that's all that they are, experiences. They linger in our memory, but they don't become part of our everyday life. Inspiration hardly affects what we do or achieve or become. In Rabbi Sacks's beautiful words, Judaism is about changing us so that we become creative artists whose greatest creation is our own life. So how did I get here? As my son asked me, rituals. I may not have realized it then, but each new behavior that I began to do was literally transforming my identity, how I think, feel, and act. We can become the people we want to be. It takes time. I'm still working at it, but just put one foot in front of the other in the direction that you want to go, and God will help you get there. Wishing you all a Shabbat Shalom. If you like what you've heard, please give us a big thumbs up and hit the subscribe channel so you won't miss a video. Thank you all.